Finally, after getting a lot of rejections, like 30, 40 rejections, finally I got one interview, which is really amazing. And it's about AI and generative AI, machine learning engineer, this kind of stuff. But I will talk about it in more depth and details when I get home. And this is Finland. It's already snowy. Isn't it beautiful? So in this video, I'd like to talk about two things. First of all, how I got this offer. Well, it's an offer. It's just an interview, simple interview. And usually you have another two interviews. It's just more of a discussion with the HR. And then if they're happy with what I have done so far, and if they think that I can be helpful, I will have another interview with the technical guys. But first of all, I want to talk about this, and then as a second part, I'd like to basically share my plan, how I'm going to be ready for this interview, and also get some feedbacks from you to see what would you do if you were me. Okay, about the first part, I would say that, well, it was 3-4 weeks ago that my company told everybody that, well, we're going to go through a round of layoffs. And we had a 2-week discussion about this, employer with employees, to discuss about the opportunities and what they can do to reduce the cost and avoid laying off people. But in the end, they needed to lay off some people. But hopefully I wasn't one of those people, and sadly they had to fire a couple of people, a couple of the good developers. And this is basically the situation with the whole economy, and I've heard a lot from other friends that this has been happening for a while now, and this is not a particular specific to my company, but this is the situation pretty much, I can say, for all the companies, for all the countries. But yeah, I don't want to talk about this in this video. Anyway, so I thought maybe it's better to just prepare myself, start applying to a couple of jobs. So if they let me go, if they want to fire me, at least I've applied to a couple of places, and it feels better to know that you have already started applying for jobs. And it makes things a little bit easier, I think. However, it's still painful if you get laid off. Anyway, so I started applying to a lot of jobs, but I wasn't really careful about that. I mean, I was just trying to send my CV out. I was trying to just apply as many as I can. It wasn't really important to me if the position is really fit for me, is a good fit for me, or if they even need a developer like me with my skills or experiences. As soon as I see that this position is about web development, or it's about Python or the tools I have worked with, I just send out my CV. I've never worked with, I don't have that much experience with like Java or C++, so I avoid that sending my CV to those applications. But as far as it was related to my skills and my interests and what I've done so far, I just I created 1 or 2 CVs for different positions, and then I just use that to apply. So I applied to a couple of jobs, different types of jobs, because I have worked over the past few years, 7 years, I have worked in different positions and doing different things, like being a backend developer, doing, you could say, machine learning engineering, doing data science. A lot of these things have a lot of overlaps. For instance, the language is with Python, you can do all these things. And a lot of modules here and there are pretty much the same. So the titles are a little bit different, but when you look at the job description and look at the projects I've done, you realize that they have a lot of overlaps. So I thought, why not? Let's apply to all these job types, like machine learning engineer, data scientist, data engineer, backend developer. As soon as I see that one of them is related to my background and the skills, I try to just apply. I didn't careful about exactly what they want, because they have a requirement section in the job position. They say that we want this, we want you to have work on these projects. We want you to know about AWS, about Google Cloud Platform. We need you to know about Azure infrastructure and these kind of things. But I wasn't really careful about this. I didn't care. I just wanted to apply, and I let them to choose me. Basically, I let them to look at my CV and see if they want me or not. So when you do this, you shouldn't expect a lot of interview. So I was ready to get a lot of rejections, and it happened actually. I think I applied to maybe during a period of 1 week, I applied to maybe around 80-90 positions. So sometimes it's really easy. When you use LinkedIn, sometimes it's just easy apply. You just click a button, and then there is a couple of questions, and then you just need to upload your CV, and boom, it's done. And it's really easy. So in one day, you can apply to 20 job positions. That easy. But this is not the best practice to do this. And so I got a lot of rejections, and I was okay with that because I knew from the beginning that a lot of these project positions are not even, I'm not even qualified for those positions, or even if they want to offer me something, I'm not really into that job position that much. But I did it anyway because I was going through layoffs, and I just wanted to something safe to hold on to grab it. But when in the final week of applying, I started to apply to a couple of jobs, maybe 10 job positions, more carefully. I mean, I try to tailor my CV. And by tailoring, I mean that, well, you have a list of skills and projects you have worked on, a lot of background you have, and usually we put everything there. But it's not a really good practice. You need to look at the job position to see what they want exactly, and what skills, what projects are more important to them, and then you need to emphasize on those kind of things in your CV. And sometimes you have to just remove a lot of things from your CV because you want to make them believe that you are the right fit for them. So if you fill your CV with a lot of things, it's not really good thing, because it was a good practice for maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So usually they wanted to hire a senior developer with experience in a lot of things, with the skills in a lot of things. I didn't care which kind of projects you have worked on. But nowadays, not only they want you to have specific types of skills, but also they want you to have the same background and same experience. They want you to have worked on some kind of projects over the past few years. In the last company you were working, which projects you worked on. They want to see similar projects, similar stacks, similar tools. and all these things. So the best practice is that you need to be careful about this. You need to look at the job description and requirements and try to emphasize more on the similar and mutual things, and sometimes even remove unrelated things. If you're really good developer with Python, but they want JavaScript, and also you happens to be a JavaScript developer, you just need to either don't say anything about Python, just remove it, or you need to change the priority in your CV. Bring JavaScript first and then put Python as the last language you know. So I will talk about tailoring if you like to know more. But I started in the final week for maybe less than 10 positions. I started tailoring my CV a little bit to try to match with their job description. And I can say that it worked. Well, this job position basically is one of those jobs that I tailored my CV for that. And it worked, and I knew that from the beginning that this is the way of applying, but I didn't have time. I didn't want to focus. I just wanted to see the market and apply over and. But yeah, that was the story how I got this interview. But I will talk about this interview later. This job position is related about it's about job AI, generative AI, and this kind of things. But at this point, I can't actually talk about it because I have signed an NDA to not talk about it. So maybe later on I can talk more about the general topics. But now what I'm gonna do is that I want to prepare for the interview, and the interview is going to be with the HR team. So they want to see if I'm a good fit for them or not. To prove myself, again, like how I tailored my CV, I need to talk about the experiences and projects that are more important to them. So the very first question they usually ask is that, tell me about yourself. Okay, but it's a long story. If I want to talk about my story from 7 years ago, from when I graduated from my master's degree, and if I want to start talking from there and talk about each project, it's not gonna work. And I need to emphasize on the projects, about the events that are more related. And that's my plan, to go through the job description even more. And let me switch my hand. Oh. Okay, it's better. I need to go through the all the requirements they want and try to understand what they want, what they need. This is something they expect you to do. They want you to know what you need to do for them. Okay? If you're a good senior developer, that's fine, but it's not enough for them. What they want to see from you is that if you understand their needs, okay, this is really important. And so they're looking for a person like that. So you have to have the skills, but also understand what they want and try to emphasize on the experiences, the skills, and backgrounds that are more related to that. This is what I'm gonna do. But yeah, if you have any idea how I can be more successful in this interview, please let me know. I really love to hear your ideas and feedbacks. But that's it for this video. And again, here we have snow. It's really snowy, but it's not cold that much, to be honest. It's just -1 centigrade. But yeah, it's really beautiful. But let me know. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.